Let's look at how to do time remapping in Adobe Premiere Pro. Time remapping allows you to determine the points where you speed up and slow down a clip using keyframes. So I've got this clip of these motorcycle jumpers, and if we play through this clip, you can see they go off a jump, do a trick, and they land. And rather than slow the whole clip down, maybe we want to, right when they're doing their trick about here, we want to slow that piece down temporarily and then go back to normal speed. Right, and that is where you would use something like time remapping. So to do that, I'm going to actually open up this track down here on the bottom by increasing that, by dragging that up, or else holding Alt and rolling. And then I'm actually going to zoom in a little more just to make this easier to see. And there is a badge here in the corner of the clip. You can right-click on that and go to time remapping and go to speed. And this now represents the speed of your clip. Next thing you need to do is, I'm going to actually make this even bigger so that keyframe shows up. So I'm just going to hold Alt and roll on the mouse. I'm going to start moving through this clip. And right about there, they're starting to come off their bikes. I'm going to actually click on the keyframe and add that keyframe marker or point in time. And we'll keep moving through. They do their trick. And they're back on, maybe about right there. And I'm going to click and add another keyframe. So like I said, this is your speed line. And maybe at that point we want to slow it down. So we're at 100% and then we hit here and we start to slow down. So I can click on this and drag it down. And maybe we want to go quite a bit slower. So let's go to maybe 60%. And if you have shot this at a higher frame rate, you'll be able to slow it down and it will be smooth. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit choppy. This clip in particular, if we go look at the info, was shot at 25 frames per second. So slowing this down, it's probably going to look choppy. But if it were to be shot at a higher frame rate and you did this, it would actually look very smooth. But anyway, we got 100% on both sides. We got about 60 in the middle. So let's look at how that looks. And they slow down just for a second, and then they're back onto their bikes. And this is going to look pretty choppy, as I mentioned, but I'm going to even slow this down more just to make this more noticeable. And then they're back on their bikes. And then maybe at the beginning, we actually want this to go a little faster. So let's speed this up to like 120, this side as well. And then there's an instant change from 120 down to this 50%. And that's where this marker comes into play. If you click on one end and drag it, you'll notice that it actually creates a ramp, a speed ramp, so it will gradually slow down. And then on this end we can do the same thing, and we could have it gradually speed back up just for a moment, and then it's not instantaneous. And that is how you use speed ramps and time remapping.